This is Gemara Nedarim Daf Vav. We're holding on the top of Vav Amid Aleph, and we're in the middle of discussing a lengthy sugya of Yodayim She'inon Moichichos. We learned back on Daf Beis the concept of Yodayim L'Nedarim. Yodayim is a statement which is not perfectly conclusive what you mean, and do we fill in the blanks? Do we conclude your statement for you? So yesterday we dealt with the sugya of Yodayim She'inon Moichichos. Do we say that when we have a statement which is not perfectly clear, do we say, have you yadayin or lo have you yadayin? We said it's a machlokes Abaye and Rava, and the Gemara tried to ask, isn't it also a machlokes Rav Yehuda and the Rabbanan? And the Gemara answered no. Both Abaye and Rava could tell us that their halacha would apply according to everyone. So we're going to hone in particularly on Abaye's din, that Abaye said that everyone across the board agrees, Yodayim she'inon moichichos havyon yodayim. That if we have an inconclusive, a lack of complete sentence, we say havyon yodayim, it is a good neder. So says the Gemara on the top of Vav Amid Aleph, Meisvei, Harei hu alai. If someone says, this Harei hu, this item is alai, is to me, and then he stops, he doesn't say anything else. Or he says, Harei ze olai. And again, throughout Nedarim, hopefully we'll pick up a sensitivity towards speech as we see the importance of every syllable, every word, every letter. So if someone says, Harei ze olai, if this item is to me, what is the halacha? Aser. He's not allowed to derive benefit from that item. Why? Mipnei shehu yad likarbon. Because it's considered a yad, an inconclusive statement, likarbon, and it's going to be considered that it has a validity as a carbon. That is the Braisa. Now the Gemara explains, Time Adamar Alai. What's the kasha? That it's specifically because he said, Alai. Harei zeh alai upon me. Harei hu, this item alai upon me. That's why hu daser. That's when it's forbidden. Avol lo yamar alai loy. But if he doesn't say alai, and the fifth line says the Gemara loy, it would not be a good neder. To yofta d'abaya. So it's a kasha n'abaya. As we see that when something is not perfectly clear, it's not a good neder. And the premise that Abaye's din is, even when it's not perfectly clear, it is a good neder. Amilcha Abaye, answers Abaye, Taima damar alai, explains Abaye, no. Taima damar alai hu da'aser. Only because he said alai, that's the reason why it is aser. Avol amar harehu. Let's say he didn't say alai. And that part we knew, but now Abaye is going to give a little more of an explanation. Let's say he just said harehu. This item is v'loy omar alai, and he didn't say upon me, harehu defker, then I wouldn't know what it is at all. Meaning, we thought that this was a raya to a yad. Says Abaye, without the word alai, it's not even a yad. If he didn't say alai, I would have thought, I don't know what he means. Maybe he means harehu efker. Maybe he means harehu ditstaka kamar. So says the Gemara, the word alai doesn't show that it's yadayim she'einon moichichos. The whole kasha Abaye was, we thought from here as a proof that this is an inconclusive statement, and yet we see that it works. Says the Gemara, no, it's not an inconclusive statement. Without the alai, it would be nothing. The alai is, and therefore it wouldn't even be a yad. And the lie is that which is there to make it an inconclusive statement. Therefore it's not a kasha Abaye. Says the Gemara, 1 second, the Brisa didn't say that. The Brisa said that Harehu is a yad likarbon, not like you just said. You just suggested that without the alai, I wouldn't know what it meant at all. But the Brisa didn't say that. Ela ima. So says the Gemara, about 10 lines down, the first word in line is Katani. Ela ima nubshan in the Brisa. Time odamar alai hu aser. Very similar to what we did yesterday in just to talk, klaliistic, to talk in the bigger picture for a moment. There's numerous ways to play around with words. One way is to say that it's not clear and we're making it clear. Another way is to say that no, it means you and not another person, or it means both of us. So explains the Gemara, Taima da'amar alai. The neder is only good. Why? Because he said alai. But that's when hu aser v'chaviroi mutter. That it's alai, it's only upon me and not you. Aval amar harehu. But let's say you didn't say alai. Let's say you just said harehu. So you, the Gemara just suggested that we don't know what who means. Maybe it means it's hefker. Maybe it means it's tzedakah. No, if he said who, then the Brisa means it is forbidden, but shnei amasurin. Then they're both going to be forbidden. Why? Because dilma harehu hektish kamar. Because maybe that which he meant is that it's going to be hektish. Now, in order to understand this Gemara, we really have to take a moment and see a Ran over here. The Ran over here explains, let's find the Ran, where's the Ran? Yeah, the Ran towards the bottom over here explains, 5 lines from the bottom, let's get it up on the screen, here we are. That Harei hu shnei masurin, why? Let's look at the words of the Ran. Mishom, the kivan she'ein moichichos, since it's not clear, Havi yodayin, Islam laminka lechumra. So in this it's not clear, it's going to have a din of a yad she'inon moichichos, which Abaya holds, everyone agrees as a din of a neder, that it's considered as if he said it clearly. And then there's a new rule, leminka lechumra, v'dilma reyu aktish kamer. Now this rule of leminka lechumra, we're going to see in about 10 days time, actually a little bit more, we're going to see on Daf Yomi. There's a klal in Nedarim. Stam Nedarim l'chumra. If we don't know how to translate a statement, we go all the way extreme with it. So says the Gemara that it's going to be of a din of a yad, but we're going to have to go l'chumra, and then we're going to have to say that everyone is forbidden because maybe he meant areyu hektish. So the Gemara again thought we had a kasha from this Brisa on Abaya. Because Abaye is explaining that everyone holds Yodayin Sheinan Moichichos having Yodayin. The Brisa seemed to contradict that point. We defended Abaye by explaining that no, the Brisa is teaching us a different nikuda. The Brisa is teaching us that if you left out a lie, it would be open-ended, and rather maybe it would be a din on everyone. So Meisvei, about 10 lines at the bottom, the first line is Meisvei, ask the Gemara, another kasha on Abaye. Says in the Brisa, Arezu chatas, Arezu asham. If someone says, this item is a chatas, this item is an asham, what's the din? Says the Brisa. Afal bishu chayiv, chatas v'asham. He might very well be obligated to chatas and asham, might have done an avera, but loy omar klum. This entity is not an asham, is not a chatas. Why not? Because you can't be menader on a nedava, you can't give a voluntary chatas and asham. Chatas and asham come for aveiros. So therefore, if someone says that this entity is a chatas, or izu asham, he might be chayiv the chatas and the asham, but this item does not have a din of a chatas and the asham. Now the truth is, we could pause over here before we see the end of the brisa, because this part is the kasha and abaya. Because according to Abaya, what should the din be? It's Yadayim she'einon moichichos. It's not clear, but according to Abaya, we should know anything that's not clear as the din of a neder. The Brisa continues, Hareizu chatasi. Someone says, this item is my chatas, Hareizu ashami, or this item is my asham, then the halacha is, Emu mechuyav devarim kayam. If he is indeed obligated to chatas and asham, this item is a chatas and asham. So tiyaf the Abaya, because what do we see? If he, from the contrast, the truth is, it brings out the question a little bit easier. The end of the Brisa taught us, if you said chatosi, if you said ashami, then it's clear that what you're referring to, then it works. If you left it open-ended, chatos, asham, it doesn't work. But according to Abaya, that can't be, because according to Abaya, even things that are not clear, even yadayim she'eino moichichos, having yadayim. Amr-Lacha, Abaya answers Abaya, Hamani Rav Yehudi. That Brisa is Rav Yehuda, who holds, yes, if it's not clear, it's not a neder. I hold, says Abaya, Yadayim she'eino moichichos, is a neder. But Rav Yehuda disagrees. What's the kasha? The kasha is the whole premise that we said of today's shir. V'abayu da'amar, ano da'amri, afil Rav Yehuda. But we started off today explaining that we're asking on Abaya, because Abaya holds that everyone agrees that Yadayim she'eino moichichos have in Yadayim. have a din of a neder. Says the Gemara, so now this is with Rav Yehuda. But Abaye said Rav Yehuda could agree with him. Says the Gemara, Hadar Pei. So Abaye is retracting his opinion. So Abaye is holding Yodayim Shenim Achichos, if the neder is not clear, has a din of a neder, but that's only according to the Rabbanan. Abaye concedes that Rav Yehuda would disagree. So I asked the Gemara, if it's true that Abaye only holds like the Rabbanan, Elalema Rava Damak Rav Yehuda. So now we're really going back to yesterday's sugya. Yesterday we suggested that Rava is like Rav Yehuda and Abaye is like the Rabbanan. So says the Gemara, if that is accurate, that Rava is like Rav Yehuda and Abaye is like the Rabbanan, said the Gemara yesterday, so why do we have to have the machlekes twice? The Gemara answered, it's not true. Both Abaye and Rava hold like everyone. Today says the Gemara in the bottom of Vav Amud Aleph, Abaye is conceding that he's only with the Rabbanan. So says the Gemara, what about Rava? Does Rava hold only like Rav Yehuda and not the Rabbanan? Amlecha Rava, no. Anadami, I feel the Rabbanan. It says Rava, I stick to my guns. I could agree with the Rabbanan. Because when did the Rabbanan say there didn't like Abaye that you do not need a daim achicha? He says Rava, ela gabe get, only by get. The megarish says ishes chaveiroi, because you can't be megarish someone else's wife. So that's the reason why the Rabbanan held, even when it's not clear, as the din of a neder, has the din of a yadayim, it will be a get. So says Rava, he sticks to his guns. Rava holds like both the Rabbanan or Rav Yehuda, in as much as Abaye is conceding right now, says the Gemara, Abaye is conceding that he's going to only be able to hold like the Rabbanan and not Rav Yehuda, which of course we know is really not so gishmak, because we really like Abaye to be holding both like the Rabbanan and Rav Yehuda, as we learned yesterday. But says the Gemara, no. Abaye agrees, whereas the Rava does not. Rava can hold like everyone, Abaye cannot. And we're really ending off, that's a bit of a kasha, which the Gemara leaves open. And Ba'i Rav Papa, we turn over to Vav Amud Beis, says the Gemara, Ba'i Rav Papa, a new shaila. So we're leaving off the previous sugya, that it comes out that according to Abaye, he fits only with the Rabbanan. Rava fits with everyone, and that's the way the Gemara leaves it. We turn over to Vav Amud Beis, and Ba'i Rav Papa, a new shaila. Yesh yad likedushin, asks Rav Papa, oi loy. We're on the sugya of Yadayim Shenim Achichos. We're on this topic of learning that when things aren't clear, do we give them the full validity or not? Says Rav Papa, what is the status by Kedushin? Do we say that when something is not clear by Kedushin, does it have the status of a Kedushin or not? Heichi Dami, what is the case, as the Gemara? If the case is you tell a woman, you're married to me, and you say to the woman next door, ve'at nami, and you also, says the Gemara Pshita, hainu kedushin atzman. That is kedushin. What's yadayim? Yadayim is when it's open-ended. We don't know what it means. But over here, if you said to Rachel, harem mikudashasli, and you turn to Leah and you say ve'at nami, and you also, what does that mean? It means only one thing to Leah, and you're also married to me, so it doesn't have a din of a yad. So what's the case? The Rav Papa is unsure whether Yodayim would have a din of a kedushin. You tell one woman, you tell Rachel, you're married to me. You tell the other woman, va'at, and you don't say va'at nami, and you're also married, which would be clear. You say and you. So me, I mean, and va'at nami, does it mean va'at nami when you say and you? Does what that mean by, since it's a yad, and you also are married to me? Va'at nami, amar lo lechaverta, v'tasi wa kedushin lechaverta, and as a din of a kedushin, oidilma, va'at, chazoy amar lo lechaverta. And or does it mean you tell the friend, and you see what I did with your friend? Maybe you also want to get married? So ask the Gemara, according to Rav Papa, what is the din of Yadayim by Kedushin? We were dealing primarily until now by Yadayim by Nedarim, Machlekes Abaye and Rava. Yadayim by Gittin, maybe a Machlekes Rav Yehuda and the Rabbanan, or I shouldn't say that, incorrect. Definitely a machlokes if you did the Rabbanan, whether they both will agree by Nedarim or not. That's the point of contention that we just finished with. Says Rav Papa, what about by Kiddushin? Someone has an open-ended statement by Kiddushin. He says, and you, do we say that what he means to say is, and you're also married? Or no, what he means to tell the friend, and you also, look what I did with your friend. Maybe you also want to get married to me? That is the Shaila of Rav Papa. Says the Gemara, Umimi Baile Rav Papa. Did Rav Papa really ask this as a Shaila? So Sugi in Kiddushin, that Rav Papa turned to Abaye and said to him, Misaver Shmo Yadayin Shen Mechichas Havim Yadayin. Abaye wanted to suggest, as Abaye suggested in our Sugya, that Yadayim Shen Mechichas, when something is not clear, it has a din that it is clear. And Rav Papa turned to Abaye and said, really? Does Shmuel really hold that? Michlal, what do we see from the way, sometimes the way you ask a question, we can see what you hold. So from the way Rav Papa asked his question, Michlal, the sphere of Rav Papa, that what? The Yesh Yad Kedushin. It sounds like Rav Papa holds that, of course it would work, and that's why he's asking Abaye, what are you doing? So I asked the Gemara, you are quoting Rav Papa as asking this din as a Shaila, but we know what Rav Papa holds from the Sugya Kedushin. Answers the Gemara, Chada migu ma disfir leili Shmuel. Answers the Gemara, Amar le Abaye. Shmuel, it is Chada within that which Abaye said, within that which Shmuel said, that's what Rav Papa is asking Abaye. Meaning, in English, Rav Papa is asking Abaye, not me. Take me out of the equation, says Rav Papa. You Abaye, you're learning Shmuel's din like this. I have a kasha on what you're saying. It's true that from the way he asked it, it sounds like this is his opinion. Says the Gemara, no, you can't infer that which Rav Papa himself held. He was asking purely Abaye in the din of Shmuel. So Gemara leaves this open-ended. Do we have a din of Yadayim by Kedushin or not? The Gemara leaves it as such. Bayi Rav Papa, to now we go one more Shaila to end the day. Asks Rav Papa, or about 13 lines at the bottom. The first one of the line is Amar le Abaye. Bayi Rav Papa, yesh yad lepeya or ein yad lepeya. The din of peya is that you have to leave over the corner of your field and give it to the aniyim. So ask the Gemara, is there a din of yad by peya? So let's look at the Ran for a moment. The Ran in the third wide line, let's get that up on the screen. Says the Ran, wait, where is it? A little bit smaller. There we go. Says the Ran, Bayi Rav Papa, yesh yad lepeya, koloimar. Explains the Ran, and as we know in Rashi, similar rules. What does koloimar always mean? Koloimar means it's not so simple. Im timsa loimar b'kedushin ein yad. The Gemara, the Ran's explaining that this question of Rav Papa is predicated on that which he holds in the previous sugya. If you're going to say by kedushin ein yad the kedushin, why not? As we're going to see, Deloy liskish Nedarim klal. Why would there be no din of yad by kedushin? Because kedushin has nothing to do with Nedarim. By Nedarim, maybe there's yadlis, but not by kedushin. So on that side, asks the Gemara, Peyo de iskish mai. What is going to be the din by peyo? With that introduction, let's read the words of the Gemara. First says Gemara again, what's the case? If the case is where someone said this ugiya, this patch should be peya, v'hadin nami, and this patch also, just like we said a moment ago in Kedushin, hayi peya mal yasa. That's not a yad. That's clear. What do you mean? He kikami bayile. What's the shayla? Konda amar v'hadin. Is that you said not v'hadin nami? You just said v'hadin, and this one. V'loy amar nami, and you didn't say also. So is this a second patch of a din like the first patch when you said and this without saying nami? Mai. Michlal, so mai, what's the din? So now says the Gemara, Michlal, from this shayla we could infer the amar sadeh kula tave peya have peya. If he said the whole field should be peya, then of course the whole field will be peya. In it would be ve'atanya, like we learned in a brayse, that if you want to give the whole field peya work, tamalaymar pa'asadcha. So mi amrinon. So do we say? The Gemara ends off the shayla. Kim dishkish karbanos. That since peah is like carbon, ma karbanos yishlem yad, av peah yishlem yad. No, rather only labal ta'acharu de'iskish, but not with regarding to yadayim. And we'll leave it at that. So that is the shayla of Rav Papa. We know that you could give a whole field as payah. Don't think just because you gave one corner, automatically you can't give a second corner. No, you could give the whole field. So when someone said a din of a yad by payah, he said this part of the field is payah, this patch, and this. He didn't say and this also. What's the din now? Do we say yesh yadais lepeya? Why? Because it's equated to karbanos. So just like by karbanos is yadais, there's by peya. Or no? Or do we say that the whole equation between peya and karbanos is with regard to bal ta'acher, but with regard to yadais maybe not? That is the shayla, which we'll pick up from tomorrow, Mirz Hashem, at the bottom of Vav Amid Beis.